Well, do the Conservatives have a problem with women? A YouGov survey last week showed the government's approval rating amongst men running at only 36%, but amongst women it was even worse, just 26%. The government's austerity measures are seen to be hitting women harder than men, with cuts in benefits and rising household costs. But is David Cameron a liability himself? During exchanges at Prime Minister's questions, Mr Cameron was accused of being rude and patronising to women MPs on both sides of the House.
Calm down, dear. Calm down. Calm down and listen to the doctor. I know the Honourable Lady is extremely frustrated about... Maybe I should start all over again.
Well, he apologised for those remarks today, claiming he wasn't one of the lads. Downing Street itself has admitted there's a need to win back women voters in general. So can they do it? With me now, Harriet Baldwin, the Conservative MP for West Worcestershire. I mean, did you feel there was damage done by all of this with women? I mean, what were your friends saying?
What, with the Prime Minister's questions? Yeah. I think everyone accepts that David Cameron has shown a great deal of leadership today by saying what he did, and that the atmosphere in PMQs... Well, the atmosphere in PMQs is always really, really rowdy. I mean, I remember the first time
it's all very rowdy and it's very difficult. But I'm asking you about your friends.
If I could just say what it was like when I first asked one. It was like being barracked by Millwall supporters in terms of the Labour benches.
Well, that's the excuse. So his natural reaction to being barracked was to say something sexist?
Well, I don't think it was intentionally. I think it was meant to be light-hearted, and he's apologised for the way it came across the wrong way.
Isn't the bigger problem, though, that it's your policies that are damaging support with women, not the jokes in Prime Minister's questions, which most people don't notice anyway?
Well, I think we've got some fantastic policies, and, you know, it's a sad fact that after 13 years of Labour, we're left with this enormous deficit that every woman, man and child in this country is having to deal with.
So why do you think your support amongst women is worse than amongst men?
I think that we have done some fantastic things for women. For example, it's a sad fact that women still make less than men today.
But why do you think your support isn't as good amongst women?
I think we've got to communicate all the really positive things that we've done to help women. For example, 880,000 people have been lifted out of income tax altogether by this government, and that's going to be the majority of them are women.
So it's just that they don't realise how good things are for them.
We've got to do a better job at tough times for everybody. Let's face it, everybody is suffering at the moment.
But there is an issue here, isn't there? I mean, which has been clearly recognised by the apology in the paper and again on the television, that there is a specific problem with women voters.
I think that the Conservative Party does need to communicate extremely effectively the things that we're doing that will help women, men and children in this country have a more prosperous future. Of course we do. That's our job in government, to say what it is we're doing. We're doing very positive things in terms of the number of low-paid workers who've this week received an increase in terms of the minimum wage, in terms of public sector workers who the majority of the low-paid in the public sector are women, and they've been protected from any pay freeze. In international development, we have a very women-focused strategy there, where it's helping women in maternity and girls go through education. So the cuts, if you look at one side of the equation, and you highlighted child benefit. Now, I'm a higher rate taxpayer, and I receive child benefit. Yes, we're making higher rate taxpayers suffer, but does Yvette Cooper really want to go on the doorstep to Pontefract to say she wants it back?
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Well, just before we go, time to point out a new and very controversial addition to the conference. That thing over there, the barriers, is called the Delegate Walkway, where the media are not allowed to go, stopping us doing those snatched interviews with ministers as they go between the conference centre and the hotels. The Conservatives say it's about safety, but journalists here wonder if it's really about safety from the media and are refusing to cooperate despite threats of expulsion. Well, Michael Cricky, are you going to obey this edict?
Well, of course. I mean, I'm always extremely well behaved, and I wouldn't want to do anything to offend the Conservative Party or indeed any other party. I mean, they say it's because there are a lot more representatives here now that they're in government than there were a couple of years ago. So, of course, we all got to stand behind that fence and hurl our questions. But I think if there's a biggie coming along, maybe a few people will...
Vault the barriers.
Vault the barriers, yeah.
Michael Crick, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget you can reach me direct on Twitter at ChrisGM. We're back tomorrow at 7. Until then, from Kathy in London, all of us here in Manchester, that is Channel 4 News. Have a very good evening.